What's going on, guys? One love out to everybody. We got UFC 321 Aspinall versus Gane predictions breakdown here, guys, over there in Abu Dhabi. Pay-per-view card, 14 fights on this card. We never judge a card by the cover, we never do that, but overall the card looks stacked though. And we have a rematch between Verna and Dern, excellent matchup. Aspinall and Gane, Umar and Mario, yo, we're on a roll right now. It's a very stacked card, 14 fights. Before I get started though, guys, hit the thumbs up button. Also subscribe to this channel. I appreciate the new subscription that I've been getting, and if you know all ones them, enough love out to everybody. I want to give a shout out to UFC prediction tracker. Enough respect to that dude. He puts in a lot of work on his channel, man. You should go check him out. UFC prediction tracker, man. He tracks everybody plays, dude. Puts a lot of work in, and I will go back and also check his stuff too to see, if this guy's, is he accurate? Dude, it's pretty accurate, man. I say at least 99%. Couldn't be 100, man. I mean, the guy does very good work, man. And tracks everybody picks, which is a good thing to do. Just to see, the work that other people do. Because a lot of people may be on here just like, just picking favorites and just picking anything, and just, not really putting in the work. You know what I'm saying? So he goes and tracks everybody plays. And if you remember from the last card there that has went by in Canada, one of the plays there between Azamat and Yurishri. I got Yurishri as underdog in that one. I told you guys that Yurishri will win. I think it was only me and this other person. Only two people. I was the second one or the first one, wherever you want to put me. We're the only ones that pick Yurishri to win. Right? I said it could have been a knockout, but I picked a decision, but it was finished by a knockout, right? And I believe in the third round. That fight, I saw that one like way back, like a miles back. I could see that, man. I could see that Yurishri gonna win, So that's and also the next fight there was Silva. I had Silva winning that too. And also the first fight in the card with Melissa. It's like, I saw that, but the most one was Yurishri, because everybody picked Azamat to win. Everybody had Azamat winning that fight. Again, that's what it goes sometimes, You have to understand that the house always wins, So usually the underdogs will hit, and there's a lot of underdogs on the Canadian card. There's a lot of underdogs in it. Well, I say probably at least 7. But Yurishri was one of the underdogs in that card, a big one too. So there's sometimes you catch it and sometimes you don't. But I always remember that a lot of these cards can be kind of set in a kind of way where they know that Yurishri was going to win. So pretty much they knew that Yurishri was going to win. They knew that, right? But they had him as an underdog. So sometimes they would play with it like that and put certain people as underdog, knowing that they're going to win the fight, because that's how they play the games. Remember, it's a game, And then sometimes it's kind of rigged like that. Not in a sense like the guys don't go in there and like this, kind of drop the fight or kind of like fake it or something like that, like WWF. But that also could happen too. But it's unlikely. It's more likely that is going to base on the odds them. They play with the odds them, And also if it goes to judges, they will also rob you too, big time. Especially on this card here, the Abu Dhabi card, Russia cards. Those cards, they will rob you if you go to decision, like straight up robbery, man, straight up, right? So I just want to put it out there, guys. If you guys can, I know I have a couple of subscribers now, which I appreciate. Try to get me at least 100 likes, guys. 100 thumbs up, man, at least. If it's like 89, 90, it's still good, but try to get me at least 100, because it helps a lot, and it gives me energy to keep making these videos and make better videos, what I'm saying? So the more energy you give me, the more you put out, what I'm saying, is the more you get back, because what you put in is what you get out, and what you put out is what you get back, right? So the more you put out and you give love and show love, is the more I give back, because I can feel the energy and I flow off that vibe, So let's jump into this real quick here, guys. Knock this out. Also, don't forget to check out the Patreon account, because on the Canada card I went 9-4 on my picks, for the Patreon, for the face-offs. And also you can, leave a donation to the PayPal. It's always helpful. I'm not saying that you have to do that, but it really does help. But what really helps me out a lot though is when you guys like the videos and give the thumbs up. I'm saying, at least get me a couple, like 100 at least. That really helps, because the video gets out and I get more subscribers coming in. And also just subscribe, just show some love, man, because the love you give is the love you get back. What you put in is what you get out, right? What you put out is what you get back. Always happen, guys. Trust me on this. Always happens, man. All right, let's knock this out real quick here, but accurately. 14 fights in this card. Just have to set that up real quick there with you guys. Let's get it out there. This card seems very straightforward, but it's a pay-per-view card. Bigger cage, and pay-per-view cards are very grimy, cutthroat. Like I said, it's not so far being rigged like WWF. The guys going there and know what they're gonna do, and they kind of drop the fight or fake it and then lose, whatever. It is more on the odds and if you got decision and these things, they will play with it like that. So you gotta be very careful with it. I mean, whenever I'm breaking on a card and I say, damn, this is kind of easy to figure out, it's usually don't really go that way. Usually when I say damn, it's a tough card, it usually plays out. So be very careful with this one, right? First fight here, we got Jaqueline Amorim versus Mitsu Inoue. Jaqueline here, BJJ black belts, ATT. Remember what I mentioned about ATT? They know how to prep the guys to win, depending on the opponent they're fighting, depending on their weakness and strength. They will find the weakness in the other opponent and then make it your strength, so you can defeat that opponent. They're infamous for that. Because remember, I also trained there too. I used to train there, so I know how to set the game plans up, and how they will prep you and get you prepared. And they watch footages on the guy, break the person down, and then get you prepared to defeat that opponent, right? Based on their weaknesses. But with Jaqueline here, more BJJ black belts, definitely will submit you very good on the ground. I believe she's champion in BJJ. 4-inch reach, will look for takedowns, 100% finishing rate, also nasty ground and pound. Striking still needs work, but her ground and pound, is decent. But she's gonna get this fight to the ground, because that is gonna be her thing, right? With Inoue is pretty tough, man. She's pretty skilled. More of a karate base on her, boxing. Also has a ground game on her too. Hasn't fought since 2023. But she's skilled though, man. But the thing about her though, she has 2 bad knees. From what I remember, 2 of her knees had surgery on it. And that's why she's been not really active. And this is not the first time she hasn't been active. If you look at her record, she's kind of mostly in 218 she competed a lot. One time 217, 2 time 219, 2 time in 2020, and then you don't see her again. The last fight there was against Honey Goldie back in 2023. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things where she took a break from 2020 to 2023 and took a next break from 2023 to 2025. But she's skilled though, you know what I mean? But a lot of injuries, she's not consistent, not active. 100% finishing rate also. In my opinion, she's going to have the better striking, the better boxing, the better kickboxing. But she's not active though. I'm liking Jaqueline. There's more for activity. Again, like what I said with Inoue, the knees and things. Like I told you from even the Canada card with Lisboa. I told you Lisboa, her knees is not that good. And once you mess up your knees like that, you kind of hesitate on a lot of things. And you can get taken down easily. There are certain things that you won't probably do because you feel you're going to mess your knee up again. So you kind of hesitate. When you mess up your knees, man, it makes things a lot harder, especially on your mobility. Also your back and your spine. When you damage those things and then mess it up, it's difficult for you to compete at that level against somebody who's fresh, good knees, good back, good everything. You know what I mean? Even if you rest, once you have surgery in your knees, sometimes they're not the same, bro. You know, or majority of the time, I should say. So I'm gonna go with Jaqueline. I said Jaqueline by decision, guys. And you know, there's a lot of inconsistency with Inwa. You know, there's knees. She's not active. And Jaqueline, she's been going at it. You know, 2-time 2024, 1-time 2025 already, and then she's been looking good. You know, look, she's been working a lot on her cardio too, because she's a fighter that it seems like she could gas up, but she always looks to the finish though. But again, with Inwa is pretty tough. It's pretty durable too. Both of them are 100% finishing rate. So I'll go Jaqueline by decision. Alright. Again, women fight, guys. Pay-per-view card over there in Abu Dhabi. Be very careful. Can go either way, man. I'm just being honest, especially with that woman fight. Alright. Next fight we got Azat Maksum versus Mitch Raposo. Azat here, ATT. Yeah, that's right. Azat is an ATT. That's right. American Top Team guy. This too. So there's the next American Top Team guy here. Skill, trains with a lot of good guys who are over there in ATT. Lost against some tough guys in Tajar and Charles here, but Charles' fight was kind of suspect though. I felt you know, that Azat could have got that still. Tajar fight too was kind of back and forward. So it's not like he lost, like, you know, like he wasn't holding his own. You know. Let me see here. Like I said, I'm just reading my notes here, guys. Both fights here was pretty close, you know, just from my eyes, from my opinion, right? He's gonna have a 6-inch reach and 2-inch height, which is massive, right? Very, very massive. With his opponent here, Mitch, this dude is pretty quick. His hands are quick. His movements, he moves around a lot, which is nice. Fast hands. You know, he's kind of slick with it. He moves around laterally. He will look for the takedowns. Has a wrestling background on him. He will let the hands go. The 1-2 down the pocket. This fight here could be close, man, because Mitch is not bad, dude. You know, from what I see, he's not bad. Coming from the cartel gym, you know, most people say, you know, the guys coming from cartel gym they're usually not that good. You know, it's usually the brother there is usually the one that stands out most. Rob Font is the one that's you know that is just known to be winning mostly. You know, all the other guys here, they don't really win. They usually lose. Even Kevin Kettle, you know, he's just usually Rob Font, the one that's usually carried the gym. You know, so they say most of the guys here, they just never do good. But Mitch doesn't look bad though. But you know, what I see from Azat, you know, Azat, the last two competition the last two fights that Azat had was tough competition, you know, and even with Mitch too. Mitch, you know, he had Samir Georgian and Andre Lima, you know, when he went to a split. So this fight, I'll be very careful, guys. I'm gonna go with Azat. I'm gonna say Azat by submission in the second round, guys, but I'm not confident in this one, man. You know, yeah, I'm not too confident in this one. Again, it's in Abu Dhabi, so you know, I mean, most of the guys are Muslim, probably, you know, from that kind of region, you know, Russia and these places like that. You know, they will slide them split decisions, dude. Believe me on that. Even if it's not even close, they still get split decision, right? Yeah, I'm gonna go with Azat. Azat submission second round, but watch out for this one, because Mitch, I feel Mitch could get a win, but like again, goes to judges, you know. But I feel Azat could get a submission, but it goes to judges. I see Azat could still win, so it's still a risky one. All right. Next fighter, we got Charles Barnett versus Hamdy Abdelwahab. I think I pronounced that right. I'm just gonna say Hamid, man. Chris here, man. Chris, experienced guy, you know, have a 2-inch reach on him. Looks like he lost a little weight for this fight. Like I said, guys, when I'm breaking on this fight, you know, I check the social media too. I check what the guys are eating, how they exercise, and everything like that. Because that plays a huge factor, the mental state and everything. Look like he lost a little weight for this fight though, but does carry a little, you know, like a little weight on him for 5'9", right? Let me see here. His last win was 264, dude. 5'9" at 264, dude. That's a lot of weight he's carrying, man. At 5'9". He will let his kicks go. Has more of a taekwondo base. His kicks are, you know, kind of elusive. A lot of spinning heel kicks. A lot of more roundhouse kicks, which I call a muashigiri. Let me see here. A lot of forward pressure from him. You know, he will land the kick on your head. You know, he will also let his hands go, but he will gas out though. But it's a dude that will just come forward very recklessly. You know, and for a big guy, he moves very quick. You know what I'm saying? Very elusive. With Hamid here, Hamid is gonna have the 5" of height and 5" of height. Yeah, you're gonna have the 5" of height. And I think I have here, hold on, 5" of height, and I believe, oh, he's 6'2", huh? Holy crap, he's 6'2". Yeah, he's gonna have the 5" of height. I think that Chris has a reach on him. Chris has 2" of reach on him. Hamid has a wrestling background, you know, boxing, not as experienced as Chris. And he could have cardio issues too. It depends if he's prepared or not for this fight, which I've been looking at his social media, but I don't really see much. I see him exercising, but not really much footages. But he's over there in Dubai already. Sorry, in Abu Dhabi already. So, you know, this is a guy that, you know, if you go judges, they're gonna probably favor this guy, right? I feel Hamid boxing, his hands is a little better than Chris. Chris gonna throw kicks and stuff like that, but I feel that Hamid can get the takedowns. You know, I just feel Chris come off an injury. You know, I don't think he's 100%. You know, looking at social media, doesn't look like he's 100%. Again, I mean, that could just be, you know, just kind of faking it, kind of, but just certain things I see, you know, it just doesn't look 100%. I feel Hamid can move around, can pop his shots, look for takedowns. This one is kind of like a toss-up, man. You know, I mean, Chris could win, but I'm gonna go with Hamid. I say Hamid by KO TKO in the first round, guys, but I'm not confident. I just feel Hamid boxing his hands a little better. He can let the jab go. He can look for takedowns. I feel Chris is like all over the place. He's gonna be winging stuff, throwing wild, and just, if Hamid could compose himself, I feel he could get possibly a finish. So I'm gonna Hamid KO TKO first round, 0 confidence. Next fighter we got Jose Delgado versus Nathaniel Wood. Very interesting fight, man. And when I look at this fight, my first choice was Nathaniel Wood, you know. And that's why it's always good to watch footages and, you know, look at Instagram, look at social media, because I'm not just looking at just what you see here and, you know, on the topology and go, okay, Jose or Nathaniel Wood, and try to remember their fights. You know, I go back and watch footages, I look at social media, I look at what they're doing now, you know, and then I make my conclusion from there, you know, like I pick my winner, you know. Jose here is gonna have the 4" of reach, 5" of height, which is massive, 100% finishing rate, crazy pressure, hungry. He's hungry, right? Skilled guy, quick at the hands, quick at the movement. He's very powerful, aggressive, can get hurt on the foot, can get knocked down, flash knockdown, never been finished. Can get grinded out though. So if the guy's like a crafty wrestler, like just chain wrestle, just don't stop, and you know, just put a high pressure on him, just double single legs and put a stick to you like glue, like white on rice, he could get grinded out, right? If he doesn't knock the wrestler out, right, or catch him with something that hurt him, like what he did to his last opponent there in Hamil. Right? And Hamil is that crafty kind of dude, but he caught him, right? But Jose stays on you though, man. Wood is experienced, dude. He's a veteran. But like when I saw this fight, like I said, I was kind of going for Wood. Wood's boxing is good. He counter strikes. He will land that hook on you. He will mix it up to the legs with the kicks and up to the head with the punches, you know. But I noticed that when he gets pressured too much, doesn't do as well. He likes a fight to be clean, where he can, you know, like you can touch him, he touch you, you touch me, but it's like one shot, one shot, one shot. Could be some, you know, a little bit of combination in there with the legs, with the punches, like bam, bam, bam. But he wants to keep it at the range where it benefit him, you know, where he can pepper you up, right? But once you start to pressure him and just come at him like a dog, and just kind of like let the hands go, like throwing like 5, 6, 7 punches with kicks and just elbows, and just really put that pressure on him, he doesn't do as well, and you can back him up to the cage. This is what I noticed, right? So he wants to be more of a technical kind of fight, but Jose is technical, but Jose can make it into a dog fight being technical. So Jose is like a technical dog, right? That would just he would come in and let it go, but then still compose with technique, you know. Wood wants to sit there right in the middle of the cage and like land some kicks, land some punches here, we'll counter you, you know, we'll touch you here, touch you there, we'll circle around, move around a little bit, keep it nice and clean, just make sure you don't cross that line and get too close to me, you know. Jose is gonna come forward, man. And the wrestling from Wood, it's decent, but it's not chain wrestling. It's not like just wrestle, like stick to him like glue. Like this guy here that actually took the first loss he has, the only loss he has against Chris right here. This guy here, Chris McCate. This guy here freaking came in here just to wrestle, bro. He was just on him like white on rice, dude. Stuck to him like glue. As a ref said fight, he's single, double leg on his ankles on him. Stick to him. Didn't give him no type of space, you know, for Jose to strike. Didn't give Jose no space. There's no hole, nothing that's on him. Wood doesn't do that, and if he does do that, Wood will gas out, and Wood can get reversed and scramble on. Because Jose was trying to scramble on Chris, but he wasn't able to. Because Chris was such a good chain wrestler and knows how to scramble properly. He knows how to reverse. He knows how to get the fight back to the position that he wants it. Because Chris went in there just to wrestle, because that's his thing, just to wrestle. Wood mixes up. Wood is well rounded, but Wood would want to strike more. You know, he more boxing, more kickboxing, striking, and will go for the submissions and the thing like that. But he doesn't push the wrestling like that. You know what I mean? And he doesn't like to be pressured. So that's the reason why I gotta go for Jose, guy. But I'm not confident in this one because Wood could win. Because Wood is very, very experienced, and Wood's seen it already. He's seen a Jose already. He's seen these kind of guys. But with these kind of guys, like Jose is the kind of guys that he loses to. You know, and I know he said that he doesn't do as good against smaller guys. You know what I'm saying? So Wood is like, you know, I don't do good, you know, when the guy is like smaller. You know, like shorter reach and like the same height, because they're like quicker, right? So like a Muhammad doesn't do too good against a Casey Kenny, a John Dodson. He struggle with these guys. But when the guys are like longer, taller, reach and height, he does well with them. So, I mean, let's just see what happened. But Jose is quick. So Jose is like a Casey Kenny. Jose is like a Muhammad. Jose is like a John Dodson. Not the same height and reach. He got longer height and reach, but he's quick like them. And elusive, aggressive, and put a pace on you. So I gotta go with Jose. But the experience is not there. That's the only reason. And I feel that, you know, Wood has the experience, you know, but there's certain things that, you know, when you put a pressure on him, he doesn't do as well. And also there's some talk about, you know, he doesn't matter to him if he loses or not. Like I heard something like it doesn't matter to him if he loses or not, because you know the UFC is a game, which totally understand that, and I am for that too, because it's just a game, it's just an illusion. And if he loses, and whatever, and then this is his last fight on the card. I mean, this is his last fight in the UFC, so they haven't really re-signed him yet. So it doesn't matter, you know. He said he go do something else, you know. It just doesn't matter. He already made enough money, and he said this. So with that kind of talk, it sounds like it doesn't really matter to me if he wins or lose, you know. When you look at it like that, it kind of seems like, you know, like his mind is not really in it. It doesn't really matter if he loses or win, you know, against a guy like Jose who's freaking hungry as hell, that wants to be champion, that he wants to be in the position that Woods in. Because Woods say he made a lot of money and everything, he can just retire if he wants to. And he has a lot of other things going on in his life, which I totally understand that. Again, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with what Wood is saying, because I totally agree with him and I know where it's coming from. But when you base it on a competition in this game, and you have a guy that's across from you who's hungry, that wants it really bad, you know, you just never know. You know, Wood could be in a position where he's taking a bunch of shots and he's like, you know, man, forget, man, you know, I already fought a lot in this sport. You know, I already made my name. I'm already made a name for myself. I have a lot of money in the bank. I'm good. You know, I can just, I can just take a loss. It's fine, because this is my last fight. You know, so that is why I'm gonna go Jose. I say Jose by decision, guys. 50-50. All right. Next fight, we got Valter Walker versus Louis Sutherland. Walker here, man. Heel hook master. Takes your ankles, man. Takes the heel off of you. Well-rounded guy. Will mix it up. But lately been looking for the heel hooks. 3 fights here. Pull off a heel hook. His opponent here, Louis, was supposed to fight. Justin Taffer, but remember that fight got cancelled. Taffer got sick. So Louis here, from what I see, you know, is a guy that's very explosive. He has a puncher's chance on Walker. Believe me, he has a puncher's chance, dude, because he can hit, but his power don't last too long. His power will fade out in that first round, dude, and then his hands just become like shoulder punches. It's a shoulder, no power on it. Doesn't really look like he possesses too much of a ground game. That's pretty much it. He will decline quick, gas out quick. So I'm gonna go Walker. I'm gonna say Walker again by a heel hook, man. I mean, the guy's in a row, 3 in a row. Why not make it 4, right? So Walker by submission in the first round, but 0 confidence, because Louis, from what I see, he has a puncher's chance, dude. He does pack power in those couple minutes in the first, dude. But after that, it's like those arm punches. Shoulder, you can tell it's just from the shoulder, arm is just not much power on it no more, right? Next fight here, guys, we got Ali Salawada versus Matos Kamul. Al here, Ali's live, dude. This guy come to fight. You know, looks to finish, but he also can get finished. You know, lost by 4 losses. Like all his losses by the 4s by knockout. You know, kind of like a flat line knockout, like a really go out unconscious. But he will mix it up though. Look to go to the ground, look to strike, but he's very reckless though. This fight here is a very reckless fight. It's it's a fight like heads or tail, man. With Kamul here, Kamul 3 losses all by submission. Swings wild, pack power, but he's also reckless. So both of these guys are pretty much similar in kind of way. Very reckless coming forward. Like 2 head-on trains coming together and colliding. So these guys are gonna go in there and just let it all loose. So heads or tail, man. You know, your chin not meant to get hit. The first guy here that possibly land a punch, you know, on the chin could get finished, or you can say Al can submit Kamul. You know, it's pretty. You know, could happen. You know, and Kamul could catch Al in the chin. Anything could happen here, guys. There's nothing confident. I'm gonna go with Al. I'm gonna say Al by decision, but not confident. Like I said, heads or tail, man. I'm gonna pick your poison there, right? Next fighter, we got Mateusz Rębecki versus Ludovic Klein. Mateusz Rębecki here, man. This guy here, man. This guy is game, man. I mean, aggressive, press forward, durable, takes a lot of damage though. His last 2 fights there, he fought. A lot of damage, boy, against Arabai and Chris Duncan. Even Diego Ferreira, dude, he took a lot of freaking. His face was rearranged, dude. Eyes shut, busted nose, everything, man. He will gas out in the later rounds, though, but he seems to be holding it together better now. Like, he would just push, dog. He has a dog in him, man. Guy that will wrestle you, strike, come forward, put that pace on you. Klein is gonna have this 6-inch of reach. You know, he is good as well. I was reading my notes here, guys. You know, he used to rely a lot on the head kick, but not as much anymore. He's more mixed up now with the hands. We'll still throw the leg kicks, also the head kicks. You know, I think I made a mistake. He more rely on the head kicks. I think I didn't say that. I think I said leg kicks. But he will still mixed up the legs and then go to the head and then, you know, mix up the boxing. Can get bullied though. That's the thing. And he lost to Amatsu Gamrot. You know, will he lose to Matthew Rebecki? He losing to two Matsu. I think I pronounced that right. I don't know. Back to back, Matsu is going to lose to back to back. It can happen, man. But he can get pressured, put against the cage, can get kind of like pressured and take down, kind of grounded against the cage. This is the next guy that likes to fight to be kind of clean. But he was still coming in and throw down though, and his striking is pinpoint. He could have a better striking than Rebecki, but I think Rebecki has more dog in him, man. I feel Klein wants his fight to be at a certain range to benefit him, which is more on the outside range. If Rebecki can keep a pressure like what Gamrot did, just on him. I feel Rebecki could get a win here, man. You know, but I don't sleep on Klein because Klein dangerous striker. You know, especially with the head kicks. I'm gonna go with Rebecki. I'm gonna say Rebecki by decision, guys. But I'm not confident in this one because Klein could win. It's just that I just feel like Rebecki has a dog in him, man. And I feel Klein wants the fight to be kind of a technical, clean, and I don't think Rebecki's going to have it clean. Rebecki's going to look to grapple and pin him against the cage and just throw over hands and just keep it tight, man, you know, keep it rugged. So I'll go Rebecki by decision. I'm not confident. Next fight, we got Ikram Aliskerov versus Jung-Yong Park. Ikram here, man, 3-inch reach, skilled guy, well-rounded, but can get knocked out. Believe that. You know, he can drop the ball, man. You know, he's been knocked out by Robert Whitaker and by Khamzat Chimazaev. I think I put it wrong. Khamzat Chimazaev. Oh man, Khamzat Chimazaev, or Chimavez, Khamzat Chimazaev. Yeah, I think I pronounced that right. I don't know. It's sometimes I forget these guys' name, man. You know, somebody doesn't talk about them too much. You don't really, you know. So Ikram here, 3-inch reach, skill well-rounded, but can get knocked out. He would drop the ball. Let me see here. More of a first-round finisher on this guy. As you can see, a lot of first-round finishes. Some second and third, but mostly first-round finishes, man. Park here is not a guy that you take lightly. You know, I mean, this guy is skilled. He's well-rounded. He's a veteran. 9-3 in the UFC, dude. He's 9-3 in the UFC. Only lost to Anthony Hernandez, Greg Rodriguez, and Andre Muniz. The thing is that Ikram finished Andre Muniz, I believe, in the second round he finished him. No, the first round he finished him. Park lost to Muniz by split decision, but again, that's the MMA math kind of business that you don't really want to mess around with that, because we see all this all the time. You know, yeah, Park lose to Muniz, Ikram beat Muniz by submission, Park beat Ikram by knockout. Catching with a punch, you know, which Park does pack power. Park ground game is pretty good. This is a tough one, man. The only thing I could say about this fight is that, Park has got me. I don't think Park has a chance to win, guys. I'm gonna go with Ikram again. Ikram is where? Where is Ikram? Exactly, out of Russia, right? So they're gonna love him over here. So in Abu Dhabi. So because decision, sure enough, they could slide him the split for sure, definitely. He ain't gonna give Park the split. There's no, he ain't gonna give Ikram the split. So it's one of the reasons. Also, Ikram is skilled, and I feel he could beat Park, but still be careful. Ikram by decision, not confident. Next fight, we got Nasrat Haqparast versus Quinlan Skalkid. Nasrat here again, over there in Abu Dhabi. They love him over there. So Nasrat is skilled though, veteran, very, very good fighter, right? Hands down, he's a good guy, very technical guy. Quinlan is still kind of fresh, you know, as Yanal Azmov, Ashur Jubilee, Gage Young from the Contender Series, But look at Jubilee. Jubilee is not, you know, Jubilee had one win here against Dzeko. Come off the road to UFC. Like I said, most of those guys from the road to UFC, like I said, they don't do as good. You know, when they come to UFC. The road to UFC, guys, is just like a lower level. Quinlan is decent. You know, he has hands on him. You know, we'll look for takedowns. You know, we'll put a pace on you. Has a 3-inch reach, but he does slow down though, and he slows down in like the end of the second. Definitely in the third, he starts to slow down. He can't slow down against Nasrat. If he slows down against Nasrat, Nasrat's going to piece him up. So that's what I noticed when I watch his fights. Even against Yana was coming back in that third round and kind of putting it on him in the third round. And the second and the third, you know, with Jubilee is like, I don't feel Jubilee is on that level. He's a skilled guy though, but I don't feel he's on that level, at least UFC level. Maybe a different organization. You know, the guy has some skills, but maybe not UFC ready. I'm over Nasrat. I feel Nasrat is just experience. You know, I feel Nasrat's seen it. I feel with Quinlan still needs more work. You know, in the third round he's slowing down, like he's on the bricks, and you can't do that against Nasrat, who's experienced veteran. Seen that if he sees you slowing down, he's gonna hunt you. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna hunt you and see that you're slowing down, and then put the pressure on you harder. So Nasrat by decision, guys. Next fighter, we have Alexander Ralik versus Azamat Murzakanov. I think I pronounced that right, guys. I know it's Rachik. I think it's Alexander Rachik, right? I said Relic. Alexander here, this guy is skilled, man. Powerful striker, you know, but he's been dropping the ball lately, you know. And this is the next guy here. When I talk about people with messed up knees, I've not been wrong when I said a person messed up the knee and they lose a fight. The last fight with this boy, mess up knee, lose a fight. And other fights too, when the people mess up their knees, don't do as well, because your knees is mobility. Your footwork is what move you around, and if you're not, you can't sprawl, you can't shoot, you can't move quickly, because you know, in your back of your mind, your knee ain't that 100%. Because when you have surgery, you know, you'll never be 100%, dude. Never be 100%, man. You know, and after he messed up his knee here, the leg injury against Juan Valkovic hasn't been the same. His 2 fights here, he just seems against Magomed and Yuri. He just seems like there's no effort. You know, he's just like just on the back foot. Seems like he don't have the confidence. You know, he's just not pulling the trigger. He actually hesitates a lot. I think that's what I meant to say. He hesitates a lot. You know, he's gonna have the 6-inch height or 7-inch reach, which is massive. You know, so it doesn't really take much for him to reach Azamat. But is he gonna hesitate though? Because guess what? Azamat is not gonna hesitate, guys. Azamat Murzakanov, I think I pronounced that right too. He's not gonna hesitate. Murzakanov is a skilled guy, man. This guy is very, very skilled. And he will find a way to win. And not only being skilled, he's mentally, physically, and spiritually on, dude. He ain't gonna give up. And his hands are nice. His boxing is nice. And the thing about him that I like, he knows how to come into the pocket. So, yeah, you look at Alexander has a reach and height. But that could favor him because he likes to come in and work himself into the pocket, kind of like slipping and work the body, work the head, or the overhand hook. Could be a knockout in this fight. And like I said, Alexander could catch Azamat and finish him. Like, you know, not because that guy is good, that don't mean that he's invincible. Right? Anybody can lose at any time, especially in this game. That's just what it is, man. It's just a game, guys. And you know, your face not meant to get hit, and you get touched to the brain, to the head. Your brain go out, your mind go, your consciousness leaves you, and that's it. You know what I mean? That's just part of the game. Or you get kicked to the head, and that's it. Or you get kicked to the body, your liver shot, your body crumble. Right? So, but the only thing about this fight is the mental. I don't feel Alexander is mentally on, dude. But Azamat is mentally on. All the time. Even in some fights where I feel like, damn, it doesn't look like he's doing that good. But the guy find a win. He come back and win, man. When you see a guy can come back and win like that, you know that's a serious dude, man. That means that he ain't gonna give up. Alexander will drop the ball and give up, dude. So kind of like Kevin Holland, right? exactly. You know, Holland is skill, but mentally he not there, man. So, you know, I mean, if you see Holland in any other plays or any other fights, probably most likely probably not going to pick him no more now, you know, because you can tell that the guy mentally is not there, dude. He's not there. He will get, you know, I mean, suppose he got kicked to the nuts and the groin, you know, he looked like he was in pain. I mean, yeah, I get it. But kick Azamat in his nuts, dude. I don't know, Azamat would take it, keep coming forward, dude. He would take the shot, may feel it, may go down, may go, okay, you got me good. You catch a good breath, let it out, come back in the fight. Even if he's feeling pain, he ain't gonna give up. That's how mentally this guy is, man. I got Azamat by decision, but still be careful because Alexander has that reach and height, dude. So I'm not confident in this one. Just the fact that Alexander has that reach and height, and Alexander is experienced, but again, there's it's a consistency thing with Alexander. It's not consistent. He's been injured. His knee is an issue. Yeah, and he's fighting a tough guy in Azamat. 15-0. So this could be a fight that Alexander could win. So it could be one of those things, man. He catch Azamat with a head kick. Possibility, man. But I gotta go with Azamat. All right. No disrespect to any of these fighters, guys. It's all over the end of the day, and just I'm speaking it how I see it, right, and how I feel it. All right. Next fight, we got Alexander Volkov versus Jailton Almeida. Volkov, a veteran, experienced guy, man, been in the game for a long time. Dangerous striking, also pushing the ground game now. You know, can get submitted though and knocked out, but kind of slow at the movement at times. Can get taken down. But like I said, this is a guy that's been looking good. You know, he went to a split decision against Gane. Volkov won that fight, and Volkov was taking down Gane in that fight. They robbed him in that fight. They robbed Volkov massively. That's one of them Abu Dhabi robbers, Russia robbers, man. Oh yeah, that's a robber that you see over here in Abu Dhabi. Yep, robbed him big time. Gane lost that fight straight up, dude. I don't know. Well, I'm gonna say I don't know how, but I know how he won. So it's all good, man. Almeida, on the other hand, is skilled guy. Actually, this guy here, you know, he will look for takedowns, and he's actually a boxer. Actually, a BJJ black belt also with a lot of submission, but he started out being a boxer. So he does have striking, and when he lets his hand go, I see it. I see him let his hand go against Sergey Spivak. He let his hands go, and he was like, "Oh crap, this guy does have, you know, decent boxing. If he wants to let it go, he just doesn't. But if he does let it go, he has, you know, he has hands on him, and he will look for a knockout. He also can get knocked out too. You know, Reneki choke also. I think that's a grappling match. Yeah, he can get caught by punches and get hurt. He has to be careful with this fight because Volkov is very, very freaking experienced. Volkov is a good striker, rangy guy. Sneaky with the punches and kicks, has a karate base on him. So Almeida has to keep this fight real tight, which he can, you know, and yeah, he doesn't want Volkov to get him down, because Volkov looks like he's been working his ground game a lot. But the thing about this fight is the speed advantage. I feel Almeida has a speed. I think Volkov at times can be very slow. You know, that's his how can I say? His that reaction time, you know, is just not quick, you know. And I feel Almeida can have the upper hand, being explosive and athletic. So I'm going to go with Almeida. I say Almeida by submission in the second round, guys. But I'm not confident because I'm not sleeping on Volkov, though. Volkov is a very, very experienced guy. Very 38-11. And he's not just 38-11 fighting bums. This guy been in there for like a long time fighting tough, top competitions, dude. No easy matches over there in M1 Challenge, Bellator. Also, Strike Force. Was he in Strike Force? No, it wasn't in Strike Force. I thought it was in Strike Force. M1 Challenge. So this guy been there and done it, man. So, yeah, I go Almeida by submission in the second round, but be very careful. Next fight, we got Umar Nurmagomedov versus Mario Batista. Umar here, next skilled guy here, took down Marab. in that first round, man. I believe he could have had first and second round. Very close, though. But after that, start to slow down because they keep up that pace against Merab with the kicks because he's good with his kicks. Very elusive. Very flexible with the kicks and get it up there real easily. He was catching Merab a lot with the kicks and he was getting takedowns on Merab. He really got Merab done one time. You know, this guy's a skilled prospect, well-rounded technical guy. Only lost to Merab, which losing to Merab is no shame in that is more of a lesson. You know, you're not really losing, you're learning, right? This is you versus you here. But this guy is very, very, very skilled guy, man. And like I said, nobody, I would say the only person that came close to giving Merab a hard time, I would say is Umar. Out of all the fights that Merab has, closest person that give Merab a little challenge, I would say it would be Umar, right? So I like what I see from Umar, and I always did. He's a good prospect. Against Mario, though, Mario is a skilled guy, technical dude, is well-rounded, but he's predictable, and that's the thing. Leg kick, 1-2, 1-2, leg kick. He's predictable, kind of straight line, get flat-footed. Umar is going to be all over him. Laterally, side to side, kicks there, takedown, kick to punch, takedown to punch. I think he did that to Merab. He went for takedown and followed up with a hook. It's just hard to read that. When you look at Batista, kind of straight line, flat, 1-2 kick. There's nothing that really stands out. It's predictable. Right, have to go to Umar. I say Umar by decision. Again, with Mario Batista, is very tough kid, you know, and he looked good, you know, good fight winning streak. I believe he has like 8 or something like that. So enough respect to Mario Batista, you know what I mean? Beat Patchy Mix 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's like 8 fights, you know. Patchy Mix just hasn't been looking good, you know. We were kind of high on Patchy Mix, man. It's just not the Patchy Mix that I'm used to. Again, a lot of guys, all these fighters, martial artists, sometimes they just reach that point. You know, people say that they get old, or you know, just the mental state taking damage over the years. You're just not the same anymore. You know, I mean, he's beaten guys like Sergio Pettis, Rufus Stoffels, Nurmagomedov. He beat Haraguchi, who's going to be in the UFC now, who's going to fight in the UFC now. You know, and Haraguchi is a very, very tough fighter. He's going to fight Tajar Olabev. You know, that's the next fight in November 22nd. I feel like there's something wrong with Patchy Mix, though. I feel something is wrong with him. And that's more mental. Yeah, I think something is off with him. Because, I mean, you could tell. You could tell something is off. I mean, from his other fights, from knowing him from Bellator. Yeah, Bellator is a lower organization, but he's actually a good fighter, dude. His mind is not there no more. But I like Umar. I kind of got off subject. I like Umar by decision, guys. All right. Let's keep it flowing here, guys. Keep it going. Let's keep it going, man. 100 likes, guys. That would help me out a lot. 100 likes. You can leave some comments. You can leave your picks down below. You know, kind of give the channel a little bit of energy. You know, a little more energy, right? Co-main event here for vacant strap. Verna Janadoroba versus Mackenzie Dern. Verna here, not the best striker. Actually, back in the days when I saw her fighting, her striking was a little more elusive. But as time goes by, striking doesn't look that great anymore. The movement not there either. Kind of flat-footed. There, she's actually there to get hit. Head don't go off center line. But it's her ground game, her ability to grind and double single leg and stick to you like glue. And we look for submissions, you know. Lost to Dern in her first fight though. Dern was just putting the punches on her, landing the punches. She was going to the ground, getting reversals. Dern was getting taken down though, but she was reversing it, looking for submissions. Dern was outstriking her, and this was in 2020. And Dern's striking is not the best, but has improved. You know, so, you know, with Mackenzie Dern, her striking has improved. She's gotten better, moving ahead of center line now, not just taking hits, setting up from the outside, not just rushing in. She more picks her shots. When she fought Verna the first time, she was more just wild, dude. Just lunging in with throwing shots, running into punches. She was catching Verna with a lot of jabs, though. But she's a lot more technical with the striking now. Brown again could be even, between the first fight. There was more like a stand-up thing, but when you have two BJJ champions here that are good on the ground, usually it kind of cancel out each other, and they don't really want to take it there because both of them are good at it, so they probably stand up mostly boxing or striking. But this fight will most likely go to the ground. But I'm gonna go with Dern. Now I'm gonna say Dern by decision because I feel like Dern has improved. I feel Verna has improved too, but mostly on what she's already good at. You know what I mean? I feel Dern has improved more on her physique, her mental, her striking. Just she's more well-rounded. From my opinion. From watching her social media, though, she doesn't look in shape like she did for her last fight, though. I don't know. You have to check the scales out for that. Like I said, check out my Patreon account, guys. I'll leave the face-up predictions on there. Sometimes the fighters don't come in that shape that they should. Against Amanda Ribas, she was in excellent shape, like great shape for that fight. When I watch, her social media on Instagram, it doesn't look in shape like she did. She looks kind of soft in the stomach area, the legs look kind of, she doesn't look as toned like she really putting in that work. She may maybe taking this fight lightly, which she doesn't really want to, right? Because Verna is no joke. They're both fighting for the for the strap. It's a vacant strap. I believe what's her name? What's her name? Forgot her name, but the champion. What's her name, man? Not Yana there. What's her friggin' name? I can't remember her name. Well, the champion for that division is going up. I believe she's going up to fight Chichenko, I believe. So, yeah, I don't really remember right now. But, I can just find out here. Yes, forgot for Yan. I believe Yan fought her. Willie Zhang. How could I forget that? So Willie Zhang is going to fight Chichenko, I believe. And that's going to be the next match. So she's moving up to that. Hold on there. Yeah, she's moving to 125. Exactly. Yeah. So she's vacant the belt. So the belt is vacant now. So whoever win here between Dern and Verna, So Verna ain't no joke because she's in that position. So you can't take her lightly. So hopefully Dern come in there in good shape. Because her last fight she was in good shape. So I got Dern by decision, 50-50. Not confident again because women fight. Anything can happen here. This is a rematch. Like I said, Verna ain't no joke, dude. So Dern can't take her lightly. Main fight in the card, we got Tam Aspinall versus Cyril Gane. Dude, I mean, like I said, against Volkov beat Gane, dude. And that was Gane's last fight. Keep it short and sweet. No disrespect to Gane. Gane is a cool dude. Seems like a, pretty down-to-earth dude. This is not about disrespect, anything is all over the end of the day, but he lost to Volkov. Just keeping it real, man. I don't sugarcoat nothing. I'm not going to, just pick somebody because of favoritism, so... yeah, he lost the fight. He was getting taken down by Volkov, dude, and controlling the fight and getting outstriked. I didn't see anything in that fight where I could say Gane actually win. And against Tam Aspinall, dude, I mean, again, the MMA math thing will mess your head up, but, he submitted Volkov in the first round. And continue finishing all his fights. Mess up his knee though, so you probably say, well, this is a guy that messes his knee up. Well, yeah, not every person, guys, but some people, majority, I would say, when they mess their knees up, they usually don't come back, and it also depends on the injury of the knee. If you look at Figueiredo messed up his knee, but he didn't need surgery. So I probably should say, you could mess your knee up, but if you don't get surgery, you don't cut your knee open and do all type of things in there, and then it's like you have a recovery to do, and it may end your career. That's different. Like Relic, like Liz Boa, the other chick there, the first chick on the card. In our They all did surgery on the knees. They went there and did surgery. Figueiredo didn't do surgery. I think Thomas Aspinall, I think he did, but I don't really remember. I don't think maybe he didn't, but he did mess his knee up, so maybe he did do surgery. But everybody is different. Everybody reacts differently to their surgery and come back differently. And it's also mental too. It's also a mental game too. If you're able to can recover from that mentally in your mind, and then don't really worry about the knee and just keep it like it's brand new, like it was, so it doesn't play into your mental state. So it all depends on the person though. But man, I gotta go with Tom with this fight though, man. I mean, I feel Tom is just well rounded. Tom has a dog in him, man. Tom will keep the pressure. Tom will look for the submission. I feel with Gane is just like, man, I don't want to say lazy, but kind of lazy, but he's like, can get slow at times, doesn't pull the trigger. He doesn't have that dog. He has, he will give up, man. I feel Tom has that dog in him, that fighter. It's not everybody has that though, It's like Tom will like put it in line. Like he'll go out there and then go for it. In his mind, nothing gonna stop him. There's no delay in his mind. He say, I'm gonna go for it, I'm gonna go for it. I'm just gonna go for it. So whatever happens, if I get knocked out or he knocked me out, I knock him out, then it is what it is. Like what he did against Sergio Pakovic. He said he was nervous in the fight. He said, I was nervous, man, but I just went for it. I was nervous, so I just went for it, though, man. Besides, Gane is not gonna do that. He's not gonna just go for it, dude. He's gonna like lay and pray. He's gonna give up, man. Like John Jones put him in a guillotine and he gave up. Volkov had him. If it was a 5-round fight, Volkov would have probably, if it was a 5-round fight, they probably would have still try to rob Volkov because it's still a robbery. But you just never know, I have to go with Tom. I say Tom by submission first round, guys. And that's it. I'm just keeping it real, man. Again, anything is possible in this game. We see upsets all the time. We see some strange things that doesn't make any sense, but I feel Tom will win. So Tom for the win. Quick look at the odds here, guys. See what we're working with. Them crazy odds, eh? That's what these crazy odds are saying, man, We know about these crazy odds, man. They tell you one thing and then usually show you something and then have something in the other hand that they're trying to distract you with, So they're just trying to confuse you, man, with these odds things there, man, Mitsu Inoue plus 310, Jaqueline 400 and something. That's way too high, man. That's freaking way too high, dude. Because Inoue is still experienced, still a skilled fighter, still a veteran, man. I wouldn't have Jaqueline so high, but I could see why they're doing it though. I do believe that Jaqueline should win, but again, a woman fight, and we see women at 400, like what we see with Lisboa in the last fight. Just giving you an example, man. Be very careful with this one, guys. Azamat and Mitch. Azamat 400 and something, man. Nah, man. Like Mitch is game. Mitch is game. Fast, twitch muscle. Movement quick, hands quick, takedowns, up and down, just keep going. He has a chance. He has a chance to win. I disagree with his odds. Odds are too high, dude. Hamid at 400 or something. Hell no, man. It's just going back to the experience of the guy. Hamid ain't that experience, dude. Chris Barnett is way more experienced. Is Chris able to do it based off his health? You know what I'm saying? Based off his health, the damage he's been taking, the injury from his last fight, how is Chris now, He's able to pull off the win, his endurance, a lot of things that plays a factor. But Hamid at 400 or something? No, man. If it goes to decision, yeah. Which it probably is going to go to decision. That's what they're basing it off of. Same thing with Azat. Basing it off of that, if it goes to decision, sure. We can just give him the win. Give him a split decision. But I disagree with the first 3 fights, so guys, be very careful. Walker 400 and something. Man, what's up with his odds, dude? Louis has a puncher's chance. That's all I can say. Both big guys, and when a guy has a puncher's chance, he has a puncher's chance. That's it. Walker should be the more skilled guy here, but not so high at 400, man, because Louis has a puncher's chance, dude. Jose Delgado at 162 something, even fight. Even fight, man. When you find a guy like Nathaniel Wood, his experience, you know, guy is skilled, man. Jose is kind of like, you know, trying to get his feet in there, you know, trying to get a good win on Wood. You know what I mean? He's not that experienced, man. You know what I mean? He can't, even though it's not so high, 162, 152 is not so high, but Wood is still experienced. But I like Jose, though, for the reasons I told you. But still be careful. Kamula and Abdul Arim, even, no problem. Because both of these guys are going to go in there and swing. Both of them go in there like a train and collide. You know, so they're going to go in there wild, dude. 50-50. Heads or tails. Klein and Rebecca. Klein at 142 on something. I like Rebecca, but I can see why they have Klein here. Klein possibly could be the better striker, but just the mental and the will. You know, like they're not giving up and they're closing the distance. You know. So yeah, but I like Rebecca. Nasrat and Quinlan, even fight, really? I mean, I like Nasrat, but even is great. I guess they're high on Quinlan. I'm not really high on him, but I can see the point. I wouldn't. I would say Nasrat is a way better fighter here, but even fight is good. I mean, there's no problem. I feel Nasrat should win though. Ikram and Park. Ikram at 200 and something. No way, man. Against Park, man. Park has been showing that you know 9-3, 9-3, man. You know, and Ikram, you know, can't drop the ball, man. You can't drop the ball, guys. You can't drop the ball, man. So be very careful. It goes to decision though. He is good. So that's probably what they're basing it off of. Alexander Azamat, even. I don't see nothing wrong with that. Like I said, Alexander has a reach and height. I believe like 7-inch reach and 5-inch height or something like that. Freaking massive. You never know, man. Alexander could come in here and just redeem himself. You know, reach and height could play a huge factor, but Azamat not going to give up though. So it's going to be a dogfight, but even is no problem. Volkov and Jailton Almeida. Jailton Almeida 200 and something against Volkov. I disagree with that, man. Whenever you have these veteran guys like Volkov and all these guys are like Wood, you know, you can't really. You shouldn't have the guys so high on them. Even though Jailton Almeida have been looking good, but Volkov is very, very experienced, dude. You can't have Almeida at 200 and something, man. Because Volkov could win. He could hurt Almeida on the foot, dude. Believe me. Just saying, man. I'll be very careful. I like Almeida, but I don't like the odds in it. Mario Batista and Umar 600 and something. It's pretty high, but I don't disagree. For the reasons that I said, I feel Mario very stationary, very predictable. Umar is very elusive and proved that he is skilled. Even losing to Marab, he took Marab down, gave Marab a hard time. He's the only guy that gave Marab a hard time. So 600 is not really bad. Okay. Dern on Verno. Dern R7 178 something. Verno underdog. First fight, Dern wins, so I can see why. But I still be careful. You know, it just depends on, you know, the shape that Dern comes in. Like I said, on our social media and Instagram, didn't look kind of soft in certain areas. So I mean, we will see on the scale, you know, and the weigh-ins and things like that. But I could see why, because she beat her the first time. So, and she has improved. So it's not like Dern has declined. So Sarah Gane and Tom Aspinall. Tom is now 460 400. And realistically speaking, I see nothing wrong with that. You know, like I said, I feel Gane lost to Volkov. and what Tom Aspinall been doing against Volkov and other fighters is just, dude, they ain't nothing else to say, bro. I don't know what Gane gonna do in this fight to win, and if he does win, I'd be freaking surprised. But I can see Tom Aspinall winning though. You know, maybe Gane catch him with a punch or something, or use footwork and work around him. But Gane gonna get taken down, dude. Tom is gonna take him down, dude. Oh boy, man. So yeah. So that's about it there, guys. Some of the odds are kind of crazy, especially the first and the prelims early. But that doesn't mean that the 400 guys cannot win. So don't get it twisted, right? So that's it right there, guys. One love out to everybody. Any inspirational quotes I'm gonna leave for you guys. I always do that. Kind of uplift you guys there, you know, or even uplift myself too. Yeah, man. It's gonna go back to focus, guys. Just lock into what you want. Whatever you want to achieve, you lock into it. You know what I'm saying? You find, you know, what you want to achieve, like the goal, and you focus your mind towards that and say, this is what I'm going to work on, and you give yourself a set time. You say maybe 3-4 months, a year, and I'm going to complete the goal. It could be anything. You know what I'm saying? Buying a land, buying a house. It could be anything you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Save money, whatever you want to do, or buy a car, whatever you want, man. You know, but you focus on that. And don't let no distractions get in your way. So you lock in on that, and anything else around you, you just block it out. Stay focused on what you need to do, and get what you need to get done now. Now is a moment. If you want anything, now is a moment to go get it. Get it done. Whatever you want, now, get it done at this moment. Don't wait. Get what you need to get done now, because going forward can be kind of rocky, can be kind of bumpy. Right, so just make sure if you're gonna get a land or whatever, you get in a house, whatever, you know, whatever you need, you know, your solar, your water source, you know, more sustainable living, you know, more off grid, you know, you go and create that, you know, and get everything you need to get together from now. All right, and just prepare yourself. All right, you guys keep on kicking. Enough love out to everybody. 100 thumbs up, guys. Let's get it. Us.